Hi, Rebecca. How are you doing?
What is your problem? Every time I'm very awkward. I don't know whether I should turn on camera.
Wait, did you say something? Because I muted my mic. Muted my audio.
No, I said I don't know whether I should turn on my camera.
Oh, okay.
If Shinya comes in, I'll turn on my camera.
Oh, okay.
Usually I'm the only one who turns on my camera. I'm so sad. I don't want to show your handsome, beautiful faces.
It's alright. Not very handsome recently.
Hello everyone. Okay, it's 8, but we'll just give the other members a few minutes to come online, and then in the meantime, I'll just get everyone's attendance down because Persis isn't here today. Okay, can I also test my screen sharing? Can y'all see this if I start presenting? Is this okay?
Yep, can see.
Okay, thank you. Okay, maybe just one more minute. Yeah, I'll try to keep today's session a little bit shorter because I know that a lot of the Singaporean university students are having their exams now. So we'll just try to be brief and then try and give as clear of an instruction as possible. And then hopefully you guys can organize your time accordingly for the next month. In your own teams as well. Yeah, so we'll try to maximize whatever we do today. Okay, it's 8:02. Let me just take one last look at the attendance and then we'll begin. Hey Shinya,
Hey, Rebecca.
how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, great. Okay, I've gotten everyone's attendance down in. Okay, let's start. Okay, yeah, so hi everyone, welcome to November's IC meeting. And then for this month, same as usual, I'll just go through some of the macro updates from each of the three markets that we're currently looking at. And then we'll jump into some of the discussion I want to have today. And then, yep, so same process as usual. Yeah, so for the US, a few things. So some of the things from before. So inflation is starting to moderate, but the Fed policy is still pretty much a very aggressive one. I think recently it's half a percentage point. And then this is probably their last meeting in December. Yeah. And then on the tech side, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen a lot of news about layoffs in the big tech companies. And then also another thing from the States is the midterm elections. And then I'm not sure if any of you guys looked at this before, but the Democrat-Republican split, historically there have been different reactions to different kind of majorities in the Senate, but in the Senate and the House. But basically, I think the trend this time around is that it's quite a balanced government. So this is quite interesting. So if they're kind of more balanced, then the policy implication is that taxation policy and then public spending is also going to change. And then if public spending is lower, and reducing inflation, and then equity markets might benefit from that. So yeah, and then on the right, I just have found these two data points. So basically right now, the summary of American consumers is just that, you know, inflation is taking its toll, and then people are generally less optimistic about their job prospects, and then their personal finances. Yeah, and then also inflation is obviously, as you can see, top priority for people as they're going into the voting booths for the midterms. Yeah. Okay, and then for China, so basically last month when we were having our call, the 20th Party Congress was either like in its second or third day, and then now that it's over and we've had a bit of time to look at what was actually discussed and also see what the market's reaction was to the Congress. I think if I was to summarize it, it's mostly that investors are really disappointed in in a lack of change in the COVID-19 prevention on that front. And then but on the more long-term side, I think it kind of reiterated a lot of stuff about like China's trade tensions and how China is going to navigate the geopolitic kind of sticky situation it is in right now. And then some themes are like a lot of innovation and this kind of turn towards self-sufficiency for all of the kind of industries that it's coming under attack from the States from. Yeah, and then another thing is that I think overall, like just my thoughts on the 20th Party Congress is that it's not a surprise. So I don't think that their continuation with the COVID stance is surprising or even Xi's third term. I don't find that surprising, or you know, the idea that China is going to be have a very undisputed and unopposed government. So that's all like something that we should probably not really be surprised by. But I think the long-term implication is that going forward, you know, this is the mode that China has chosen, this mode where government intervention and having a really you know, stable like political party, like that's just what's going to happen. There's no uncertainty around that. It's just how drastic and how sudden this regulation or market intervention will be. And then I think on the so how the economy is currently doing, the property sector is you know, down, but it's probably going to take it's kind of probably going to be a really long, painful process of reform and kind of building it back up. So that's unlikely to recover swiftly. And then but one good thing as before is that both households and corps, I think we mentioned this last month as well, so relatively high saving balances. And then the short-term tailwind is that China is showing some signs of opening up, or a change in how much tolerance it has for certain COVID complications. So for example, it's starting to import starting to I think choose a new kind of vaccine. Yeah, and it's starting to like try and use the vaccine side to kind of help mitigate any of the other measures that it's trying to that currently is the most damning for the economy. Yeah, and then right now I can't say that the lockdown is any better, because Beijing has been kind of has entered into a new wave of university lockdowns. But most predictions are that it's not going to last forever, even though a lot of people are still very disappointed by the 20th party rise and all that. But I think the more rational view is that 2023 China is very likely to reopen, and then especially because the toll it's taken on the economy is really starting to last for a long time. And I think it won't be too much longer until China has to make some kind of accommodation on that front. Yeah. And then this is just an interesting timeline of like, if you want to follow from when investors first had like a really shaky like a shock from the government. So that would be when the Ant IPO suspension in 2020, and then more problems with the tech sector, and then Evergrande going down, and then you have the Ukraine war, and then the Shanghai lockdown, and then it's just been a kind of like a downhill ride from there. But it's interesting to see these different timing, these different time stops in this process. But yeah, I like this chart, so I put it here just in case anybody's interested. Okay, lastly for Latin America, actually it's pretty much the same as before. It's just that a slightly new update might be that so last time we did talk about how central banks are towards the end of their cycle of hiking interest rates, but then for this month it's more of a continuation of how the other economies like China and the States are going to continue to affect Latin America. And then also inflationary pressures are like a new estimate of what kind of timeline, and then what kind of effect or situation that we're currently in. Yeah, and then another angle is that a higher cost of living is probably going to lead to slower growth, and then possibly more social discontent. So that affects the politics side, and then there are more left-leaning leaderships that have recently been elected in Latin America. And then okay, there's a few countries here that I've listed, and then you can kind of see their inflation data for this year, and sorry, last year, and then this year. Yeah, and then you kind of see that across Latin America, there's actually quite a lot of differences, but I think I'll also try and leave it to spring, and the members looking at Mercado Libre to focus a bit more on this is just a very broad picture for the entire Latin America market, but I think it'd be good to kind of zoom in on Mercado Libre's specific operations in each Latin country that they're in. Yeah. And then okay, so okay, this is the same as usual. So yeah, so this is the process. I think I'll just give everyone like 15 seconds to read through this. I won't go through this again, but okay, so this slide, I've added something new. So I'm sure you guys have read the announcement on the Z Club goes public in the cloud. So basically, two things are mentioned there. One thing is that we want to encourage more members to write Word document, like documentation. So instead of just making pitch decks, like we kind of want you to write a more rigorous and more logically, like, sorry, did somebody ask something? Yes, so yeah, so I'll get to that later. But yeah, so we want to encourage more of a very detailed, very like logically, like there's more of a logical flow. We believe that there's more of a logical flow when you write in prose versus having point forms or trying to organize a lot of information in a visual form directly on decks. So that's one thing. And then what you see on the right here is something that Shinya introduced to me, and I'm pretty sure if you guys I'm pretty sure some of you guys might have heard of it before, because it's very famous apparently. Yeah, it's the Valued Investors Club. And then just actually some of us, just FYI, some of us in the club are interested in making something like this for China, because there currently isn't one in China. But that's something else. But the main thing is that we really like something like this, like having a forum. So what happens here is that there's like a membership, and then basically to be a member or be a part of this club, you basically share a lot of your analyses, and you get to read other people's stuff, and you can comment, and basically once you initiate, you have to update if you still have the same buy or whatever investment recommendation you have. If you still hold that opinion, then you do updates, or if you're gonna have a change in opinion, then you do an exit memo. But basically you just publish your memos in here, and then it's available to members and also to the public. And then also for the other thing that I talked about, what we need for forums, I'm pretty sure you guys can imagine it yourself, but to have to have value to the forum, you need to have a certain amount of, like, a critical amount of content that's already up there. So we really want to encourage members to try and get some of their analyses. So I'm pretty sure you guys, either like whatever holdings that you currently have or whatever companies you've already looked at, do try to get that into a form that's like we said, like a passage, like a prose, and then try to get that to us as soon as possible. But then the timeline that we're currently proposing now for most of you is that we want every member to initiate something between January and June of next year. And then so if you do an update every 6 months, that would require you to basically, your latest initiation memo would be June, and then your latest update would be December. So basically, whenever you post your initiation memo, you should be writing 2 of these memo blog postings in a year. Yeah, but then so basically yeah, this is something that we want to try and get out as soon as possible. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to start getting everyone like registered and like accounted for. So let me know if it's better for us to assign you to a certain month, or best case scenario is that you are able to, I mean, you probably have something already, or you're currently working on something that you think you can prep and have ready to go to us as soon as possible. But then we'd like to have a gauge of what's going on when. Yeah, so do let me know if it's better if we assign you to different months, or if we open up a sign up like table like last time, and then you like indicate whenever you're ready, or you indicate like 1 or 2 months before you're ready. Yeah, and then so that's that. And then yeah, so this is the performance review for November.
Can you go back one page?
Yeah.
Right. I want to make the quick comments on this, and then the reason behind. Right. And then this is you joined the club, right? And then you want to be a good investor, right? And then I think, or we think, the quick way of becoming good investor is writing a good company analysis report. Right? And then I think this process is painful, but important. And I want you to feel pains. Right? There's no, no pain, no victory, right? You can really avoid it. Right? And then it's not the very tough requirement. Right? You only have to write 2 reports a year. Right? 2 initiation reports. Right? And then you have to have this initiation reports in order for any chapter to have a position in the portfolios. So you have to have it. Right? And everybody has to read it. Right? One of the problems that I found, we have been running the club for almost 4 years, right? And then it's actually a little bit difficult for you to go back and then why we had these positions. Right? We changed it, quite a bit, in the portfolios. But then, when you inherited some of the positions, you don't really know why you own, with the previous generation actually had those positions in the portfolios, right? And then because you don't have access, right? And then, unfortunately, the people don't want to share the documents with other people, right? And then, but if you don't share the documents, and then the future people, future members, they don't know what was going on, right? So you're actually doing this for the future, right? And then for others as well, right? And then by writing a report, and then, for example, you probably talk about the sharpen, right? But then, the China chapter is looking at sharpen, and then international chapter is looking at sharpen, right? Why don't you talk, right? Since you're looking at the same companies. But then, we're running the club independently, and then chapter by chapter, or maybe VIP and EIP. Sometimes there's no cross-referencing, and I thought that's a little bit sad. Right. So one of the goal is, all right, I want you to feel pain to become better investors. Right. So I want you to write the memo. If you don't write it, then you'll be kicked out. That's the requirements. You have to do it. If you don't want to do it, you can leave the club. But I know how student thinks, right? Because I was students before. Right? If it's a homework, you would do it. If it's not homework, you don't do it. If it's optional, you don't do it. Right? If it's a requirement, you would do it. That's a human nature, right? So we'll do it. We'll make it requirements. So you have to do it. Period. Okay. And then, but then you will appreciate, after 2 years that, oh, I'm glad. I was actually glad, I was doing this. Right? Because this experiences was so rewarding for me. Right? And then you may actually get a job because of these reports. Right? And then we invite the more people in the future. Some people, they actually write a lot when they are students. And then the future employers actually approach and say, hey, you actually publish very good reports. Can I actually speak to you? Right? So we want to create this kind of the platform for you. Right? And then maybe we can submit on the VIC, the Value Investors Club. This is actually really prestigious. Right? And then every 2 weeks, you might be able to win $5,000 US. Like every 2 weeks, the best analysis will get the reward. Now, that club, unfortunately, is not rich enough, to have to give you $5,000 every month or every 2 weeks. Right? But then you can also participate in this, the VIC. You can be a member independently. But this is more for professionals, right? And then this is very famous because there are a lot of hedge fund managers, like professional managers. They actually became, the portfolio managers because of this program. Right? And then a lot of people like us, right? And we actually look at those, the platforms, right? And we want to read. And then, if you keep reading, and then it's like, hey, this manager, this person is actually really good. I want to speak to this person. Right. But then, the Value Investors Club, they do this because, and then, they can do this because it's famous. Right. And we, the Z Club, we had to build a reputation for this. Right. But then we cannot build a reputation without starting. So we want to start. Right. So you will have this, every 6 months, or every 6 months you have one company to cover. Right. And then, but then every quarter, right, and then just like the sell side reports, you write a short memo, what's going on with this company. Sometimes after the earnings, it doesn't have to be right after earnings, but then whenever you think it's it's important to give updates to the team. Right? That's the the more formal communication. Of course, within this 3 months you communicate, right, and then with the team, and hey, this is what happened. And then, maybe, maybe we had to look deeper into the companies. Right. But then it is your company, it is your coverage, right? And then this is a good tool for you to communicate with CIO and then rest of the team. Right. We have to have this. And then, but then, maybe, the first year, the members, they feel like, oh, shit, I don't know how to write this. Right. So that's why you have, the second year members, they will become your mentor, right, to write the reports. They'll help you to write the reports. Okay, it doesn't have to be first year, but then maybe second year. If you don't feel comfortable, then you can find someone else to support you. We have mentors who who can help you. Okay, so we're gonna do it. We have to do it because I know it's good for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah. So yeah, I think on that, I just want to add one more thing. So I think for those of you, especially the new members, I think this is a really great opportunity because I think the worst thing to do when you're starting, like initiating coverage, is to wait and wait and wait until you have a perfect analysis, because I think that doesn't exist. Like the whole point of like updating or having a long-term kind of view is that you don't just have the perfect analysis buy in and then you just sit there and then you don't look at it. I think the whole point is that the first memo that you put up, I just think it's important to accept that it's not going to be perfect and then use it to your advantage. So use the platform to your advantage. Just put it up there and then do try your best to make it as cover as many things as you can think of now. But I think don't let the fact that it's not going to be perfect stop you from putting it up there, because the whole point is that other members, senior members, or maybe mentors from the club or any other person who comes across our page, they're going to read it and then maybe they've looked at it before, or they see something that you might have missed, or something that they can comment and let you know, and then that way you learn versus if you never put your idea out there in the first place. So I think especially for the new members, like if you need help or if you're really unsure, like totally at a loss of like how to get it started, just approach your team. Just approach your team or approach anybody in the club that you think might be able to help you. And then I'm pretty sure in some
Rebecca,
way,
I think we should formally establish mentorship programs. So the second year students, members, you have to be a member. No, I'm saying you have to be a mentor. Okay, that's a requirement. Right, and then that's the very good way for you to build the relationship with the first year members. They are all new. Right, and then some first year members, you might know how to do it already. Right, and then because you have been investing, but then that's okay. Right, and then but then you have you have to have mentors. First year members, you have to have mentors. Right, and then second year members, you have to be a mentor. Sometimes if you have too many second years, then or maybe too few first year, there may be some the second year mentors like, oh, I don't have anyone to mentor. That's okay. Right, but then it's important. So Rebecca, you should help to make arrangements.
Set that up. Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea. Yeah, but once we get that set up, and then yeah, just don't be afraid to put that initial memo up there. Yeah, and then yeah, if anything, the time requirement should be able to motivate you not to wait too long. But yeah, just don't be afraid while doing it either. Yeah. Okay, we'll just move on. Yeah. And then it's the performance. We'll move on to this part, which is I think what we're going to spend the most time on today. So I think I was reviewing our portfolio and I was thinking, we have a very abnormally large cash position. And then right now, I think both Sony and Alibaba, we can actually buy more uh based on our it's because we're already holding on to them. I think right now they're 1 and like 2.5% of our portfolio. And then I think we shouldn't just buy more blindly. I wanted to discuss with you guys a bit more, especially Sony, because Sony actually has a lot more business segments than some of us might be familiar with. And then I was thinking maybe we should either get people split up to look at each one, or either get Spring or Merito to take Sony as one of the main stocks that they're constantly going to look at. So either Zhengqing or Ophir. Yeah, but basically, like I'm not sure, I don't think Yang is here today. But basically this was a stock that was carried over from Viva's portfolio. Yeah, but then I honestly think Sony is really interesting. I want to look deeper into what Sony could be bringing into what could drive its growth in the future, and then how it's like I really love these really like mega businesses, even though they're really complicated. It's not always a good thing to have a lot of business segments, but I really love looking at businesses like this. And I want to see if we can dive into each one and see how this kind of comes together to build what kind of business that Sony is going to be in the next 3 to 5 years. But yeah, so basically I just wanted everyone's opinion like today on if you've come across Sony before, if you looked at Sony before, or just going ahead how you might be interested in looking at either one of these. I don't think all of the business segments are as interesting, or there's definitely some kind of new investments that I think Yang also shared last time about like cars and like other kind of ventures that Sony is investing in. But I think it'll just be interesting to look into such a big business with different segments. Yeah, just wanted to, like everyone's opinion on like how you would want to go about looking at it. Yeah, maybe Junting, you can share a bit more about if Spring is interested, or how you might think we could do this.
Sure. So I think I looked at Sony before. I think last time in my previous internship, I used to cover it, but not too much deeply. So I think Sony's business is just segregated into sort of the legacy segments. Like I think the financial services, which I think they have insurance or something.
Yeah.
And the other, I think if I'm not wrong, the image and sensing or something is there are some of them are basically no growth or very low single digit growth businesses. Whereas when I covered it, the main hype was about the gaming side in 2021. So I think PS4 was coming out and everything. So, and music was also one of the, I think the music segment is very strong. So I think if Team Spring were to cover it, we will have to, my opinion is that Sony is a bit too diversified. So I don't know how it will fit in the portfolio. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it is sort of, you can say it is cheap, right? I mean the PE is low and everything, but it seems like it has been cheap for a very long time, which is true for most of the Japanese large companies. So I think it's maybe too slow growth.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's my opinion. I mean there are fast growing segments. It's unlikely that they'll spin it off, I think.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Is anyone else from Spring, any experience with Sony? Xinghui, Yuxing.
I think we never looked into Sony before.
Okay. Are you guys interested in perhaps music or the gaming side?
Yeah, I think we can look into it.
I can look at it. Okay. Yeah. What about Marito? Oh, is Ophir able to turn on his mic? Not sure. Yeah, I don't think okay. Yeah, okay. I think you can bring this back to Marito as well. So especially the new members who joined Marito, like if there's any segment or any kind of angle that you have on Sony that you want to kind of take initiative on, yeah, do let me know. But I think for now, I think I'll hand it to Spring. Yeah, and then just to kind of look into whether we should increase our position a little bit, because right now it's a little bit too insignificant. Thinking, especially taking in the fact that we don't have any other position that was like ready to go. Yeah, so yeah, okay, that's for Sony. Then I don't think okay, I also made Spring look at this before, but for Baba again, like yeah, like I think just a revision of Baba given the China stance right now, and then also like the valuation right now is also like, I mean, it's priced in a lot of stuff, but the valuation right now is really quite attractive. So I wanted to kind of build a longer term case for Baba, and I think we also need to get a team looking at Baba, or either Baba or even any other like peer in the e-commerce space, because I think just because we hold one Chinese e-commerce company doesn't mean that we shouldn't be looking at others. I think just even as a industry research case, I think either we get more people looking at Baba, or we get a team to kind of just focus on the space and do a deeper dive into like two more companies maybe. Yeah. Actually, Marito, would you be interested in this? Okay, sorry. I feel like I have to wait for Ophir to type. But honestly, any of the other Marito members, like Olivia, or sorry, who else was in Marito? Was it Jean Han or Eugene? Sorry, I had the list somewhere, but I think I'm not familiar yet. Oh, okay. Okay, they left before. Okay. Oh yeah, from Atlas. Okay. Okay, how about this? Olivia, would you be okay with taking Alibaba? And then
I
yeah,
think
and then
I
yes.
think maybe for the long term it's good to it's good to take it, because like it will be reopening in 2023. I think it's possible, and it's a very big possible. And also like I think like in several months ago, because of the American and the US and China's like the relationship, also maybe will have some stimulus to this.
Okay, that could be an angle. Okay, okay, I think we have to explore that a little bit more, maybe. But
yeah,
yeah,
like
but
I forgot that English terms, how to say that, but I think I sent some information to you before. I use the Mandarin because I really forgot the word 也就是美交所和中国之间，它不是，就
right,
是对中国的一些公司有制裁嘛，因为有一些就是信息它不可能全部公布，对，但是现在不就是因为中国美方经过一些协调，就是可以在香港等地方，就是来中国来访问这些国家的信息，这些公司的信息，所以我觉得这个方面会对阿里巴巴公司的股票有一些好的方面的影响吧。
Okay, yeah, just to translate. So, what she's talking about is that the SEC, I think, yeah, and then with they used to have a little bit of there was like a conflict that went down between letting Chinese companies list in the US because they didn't meet certain reporting requirements. But I think now there's another channel through Hong Kong to allow like a certain to obtain certain amounts of information for Chinese companies. And then Olivia thinks that it's going to be helpful for companies like Alibaba. Okay. Yeah. Does anybody wanna I think just having Olivia is for such a big company that's quite controversial is kind of too small of a team. Any other new member? Javier, Jinhan, Eugene? Maybe one of you guys. Sorry, who else? Oh, Jingxiang. Okay. Okay, so for now, yeah, that's great. So let's go with Jingxiang and Olivia. Yeah, that's great. So because Jingxiang is a second year member. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me just note that down. Okay, I think just this slide. So continuing from just now, like Jingxing, I know that you and Gladys from Spring are graduating, and then also just now that we've kind of gotten the rest of Spring to the remaining members of Spring after the end of this year to look into Sony in a little bit. Can I just ask, as of now, do you guys have any handover plans or any plans for the other companies you're looking at? So Mercado Libre and Carvana. For those two, what does the outlook look like for the next 2 months?
Okay, so for Mercado Libre, Xinghui and Yixing is probably going to work on the memo. And as you know, our target price was 600 to 700.
Yeah.
But then seems like it never hits.
Yeah.
It always
Still around the
once it goes to
900s.
above 700, it will rebound. So I think for now we will just draft the memo out and probably draft the memo out and probably see if there's any adjustments to be made to the entry price, but I doubt so because we shouldn't just change our entry price because of the market.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, in terms of Carvana, I think me and my team discussed that day that it seems that I don't think it suits our fund anymore.
Right.
Because it
Okay.
now it becomes a case of all in or nothing.
Yeah, it's
I mean it's no
quite
longer a
risky.
value bet.
Yeah.
So I mean even the bonds are trading at like 30 cents or 40 cents. So it's really it's all in or nothing. And I think it doesn't suit our philosophy. So we'll probably just pass on that.
Okay.
But our discussion also led us to another thing. So I think Javier and Eugene sort of decided to want to look into the EV electric vehicle sector. I know you covered NEO before, but they're looking in the value chain and see probably which part of the value chain is attractive to invest. So it's more of a sector thing. Then maybe they'll come like 1 or 2 names there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what they want to look into. Then I mean, personally, I've been looking into Airbnb and Domino's recently, but that's just Domino's is because of the article Shinya sent. Right? Then Airbnb, I've been monitoring for a few months. Seems like it's interesting, especially recently I think the share price is quite weak, but
Yeah.
I think we're just looking at that for now. But mainly is the EV thing and the memo that we'll come out with. Of course, the future will be for the next PM to decide.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll work that out offline, and then you can let me know. Yeah. But then
sure.
for the second year members, or okay, let's limit it to the second members. Yeah. If you have like interest in being PMs, do let your PMs know, because this is the time that they're going to kind of see who to pass the ropes to. So yeah, so don't be afraid to reach out to your PMs. Yeah. Okay. And then
Is there any
Xavier
is there any like limitations on the PM or anything?
okay. Shinya, you can tell me if there is, but I don't think so. Preferably second year member, and then but I think there's no limitation. It can be a new member as well. Yeah. Shinya, is there a limitation there?
Not really. You
No?
you can
Okay.
decide, but then it has to be someone who is good at communication with other members for sure.
Mhm.
It's the more or less it's still kind of a leadership positions, right? So I think current leaders, portfolio managers, have done a good job communicating with with the team, right? And then, but then if the PM doesn't communicate, well, active with other members, then it's difficult for other people to comment or maybe take actions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, there we have it. So no restriction. Just you PMs use your judgment to see if you can find somebody who is either a good communicator or working towards to becoming a good communicator. Okay.
I think for us the consideration is because I think our 2 second year members are already graduating soon. So I think
okay.
if we were thinking if it's better for the club or the chapter to have more active PMs also. So that's one of our considerations. So
Yeah.
so I'm just asking, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, first year
Okay.
members are okay as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, another thing for basically for all the second year members, sorry, all the third. Wait, I'm confused. Oh yeah, there's 3 batches now. Yeah, basically the graduating batch. So Shinya and I were discussing. He suggested a framework for alumni association, and then I just wanted to hear your opinions from mostly the graduating batch on what kind of things you might be interested in. So right now we're thinking of stuff like keeping you guys in the loop for any meet the investor events, and then also any recruiting opportunities, and then also keeping you guys looped into a alumni group where you'll be able to just message anybody and broadcast anything. And then something else we also kind of want to get from members is that we do want you to keep contributing or interacting with current members as well, so not just within your alumni circle. We do want you guys to either help out with the boot camp that we hold every year to recruit, and then either that or to kind of be a constant mentor to any team or anybody who basically comes to ask for your help and stuff. Yeah, but that's what we have in mind for now. Okay, graduating members, do any of you have any other kind of interests or anything that you think might be something that you wanna keep in touch with the club for? Who else is graduating?
I think only me, right? So I think that's fine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think
sounds good.
I think Ivan as well.
Hi, yeah. All's good. No worries.
Okay, so what I mentioned just now. Okay, if that's good, then I think we can go ahead and try and set that up for you guys once you graduate. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm not sure
Yeah,
how
just
much.
maybe for the
uh,
alumni associations. It's
Mhm.
only we only have 1 more month to go, but then we actually didn't do this extremely good job to keep our alumni, right? And you probably see 10 our alumni still very active, right? For example, the Aladdin, Jeffries, Max, right? And then those are the really the engaging, the very good the members, and then they love contributing, they love helping, but then we definitely want to expand our alumni network even the larger, right? And then I know Jensen, you'll be very successful, right? I know, right? And then we want you to keep be involved, and then we want you to feel be to feel proud of, oh yes, I'm the Z Club alumni. We we had a good run. I enjoy the working with other members, and then they keep coming back, and then the being the part of the the network, this the group. So we want to create a system, right, so that you feel a lot of incentives to to come back to the club, and then feel like, oh yeah, not only I'm contributing, but then I'm actually getting benefit from this club. Right. So we'd love to hear your feedback, what else we can do as a club, so that maybe you feel excited and then to come back, and then having interaction with the members. So maybe Rebecca, we can probably create a group for the the
Graduating batch, yeah.
graduating batch, and then we can
Yeah.
just discuss about it.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so for Marito, because Ophir is not graduating, so I don't think there's anybody in Marito that's graduating, right? Okay, so that shouldn't be a problem. Ophir, is there any updates that you want to share with us? I know you can't turn on your mic, but if you can just type a quick message, that could work too. For the new members of Marito, so Olivia and Jinhan, okay, how's it been? So I think for spring, the new members are working on looking at the EV value chain. Would you guys be interested in doing a sector review? Maybe December. Okay, I'm not sure. December or January? Okay, got it. Thanks, Ophir. Yeah, sorry, Javier and Eugen. Could you share maybe a little bit more about what you've been looking at, and then whether you'd be interested in doing a sector review? Are you guys able to turn on your mics?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so we were looking at kind of the EV value chain, and we kind of started with BYD. So BYD was one of the names I was looking into quite recently, and
Yeah.
I think that the prospects are pretty good in terms of like their vertical integration, the supply chain, as well as the prospects in their plate batteries. Yeah, so from there we just decided to kind of like branch out further upstream as well. Yeah, so I mean we haven't really dived deep into it, but that's kind of the path that I think we are pursuing. Yeah.
Okay.
You should definitely speak to Greater China chapters, because they have been working on EV sector quite a bit. They actually have a team just focusing on that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll try to connect them on that, and then okay. Can the two of you keep working at it, and then would you guys be interested in doing a review? The sector review doesn't have to be like a very official, like formally classified sector. It's basically any subsector, any kind of field that you're interested or you've been researching on. So even if you
Mm.
could share a little bit about even just one technology or one kind of technology, would you guys be interested
Yeah,
in
sure.
something like that?
I think we can do that.
Okay.
Eugene, you okay?
When would be a good time? December, January?
I think December is our holiday period, so it should
Mhm.
be fine for me at least.
December. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll put you guys down for December 1st. And then, but we're flexible. So if you guys need more time or if you guys have a change in topic or anything, like you can let me know. Okay?
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, for Maritos and okay, we have Olivia and Jing Sang working at Alibaba. Okay. And then yeah, I think Ophir, I'll leave it to you guys internally. Yeah, like so do like try and help the new members assimilate and then do try to incorporate them into whatever Marito is looking at right now. And then like I think like Shinya said, like do okay, one of the graduating tasks I think I'll give the PMs is that give any sorry, I'll give to Jungting and then for Ophir as well. So do try and get the new members settled in properly before you graduate. Yeah. And then I think Ophir, yeah, you're not graduating, thankfully, but yeah, do try to get the new members assimilated and then could you try and get back to me with a more formal kind of plan for who's gonna work on what within the team? Okay, there might be a little bit of a lag, but okay, thank you, Ophir. Sorry for having to communicate this way. Okay.
By the way, Ophir is now in Singapore for the first time. And then I think he reached out many people in Singapore. Please take this opportunity to meet Ophir. I don't know when it will be next time for him to come back, but then it is a great time for everyone to meet. And then I hope whoever that participated in the Singapore Live, the investor meet the investor sessions. I hope you enjoyed it. We had the very good managers, the coming and then not only sharing, but then they actually came to the event and then interacted with with our members. So we will try to do it at least once a year in Singapore, once a year in China, hopefully Shanghai or Beijing. Right, and then our alumni can participate as well.
Yeah, sounds great.
China is a little bit
Yeah.
tricky because everybody's the different locations, and then
Yeah.
so we just have to be a little bit the mindful of different locations.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so people in Singapore, like if you have time, please do go meet up and then we'd love to see you guys meet up and then send photos. Yeah, it's not every day that we can have our members from different countries fly to a country with a lot of members. So yeah, do make the most out of it. Okay, yeah, I have one last announcement. It's basically next Sunday. I've done a bit of research on the 3D printing industry, and then I'll just share like a very brief introduction to it next Sunday night, 9 p.m. So I think we'll send a separate link for it, but then do look out for that next week. Yeah, and then okay, so I think we've delegated a lot of stuff today. So I think the individual pairs that aren't really part of a team effort yet, those things, I'll reach out to you separately, but the other stuff that's under teams, yeah, please do continue to work on it. And then like we said earlier, like do try and get everything into a format that like a memo format, and then do use the cloud on WeCom. So use like the little WeDrive app, and then like how they have the different like WeDocs and stuff. Like do try to use that instead of having a lot of attachments that you have to open and save, and kind of it's really hard to update like on the cloud. do try to make use of the cloud so that everybody can see it, and then you can just edit it, and it's just more convenient. And the app has it anyway. So yeah, let's try to make more use of that. Okay. Okay, I don't have anything else for you guys today. Shinya, do you have anything else that you need to brief the club on?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, that's all I have for
Yeah.
today. So do you have anything else that you want to brief the club on, or are
No,
we
I think this
wrapped up?
is good, but I want to see, I want to see more activities in the, the portfolios. Okay, so this is Rebecca, your responsibility to encourage people to buy. In my view, this is one of the best time for you to buy stocks. Look, if you look at what happened to Alibaba last week, right, and then the share price went up 50%, I think, right, and then it can happen anytime, right, and then it's still cheap. Everything is still cheap, right? So you still have time, but then as an investor, you don't want to miss these opportunities, right? And then most of the the second year the members, the first year everything was very, very expensive, right? And then the second year was a little crazy, everything is going down, right? And then I'm sorry, the graduating the members, right? And then the second year members, you're lucky, right? You have a lot of cash to deploy, and then second year, first year, the members, you're lucky, you have a lot of cash to deploy. These are great times. Everything seems is getting cheaper, right? And if you miss this opportunity, I'll be angry, right? And then you can study a lot of the philosophies, or maybe the techniques, right? But then everything is on paper, right? Unless you put your money into the actual investing, right? And then it's okay to lose money, right? But then you have to do it. Otherwise, your 2 years will be just gone without doing anything, and then you regret, oh yeah, that was a good time to buy, I didn't buy, and then you probably ended up buying at the price is very high. That's a very human nature, I understand, but then I want you to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think just a general kind of mindset for everyone going forward. I think anything that's cheap now or has taken a hit, there's definitely risks that have been priced in. So you might have your reservations going in, but I think even if we do initiate a position, we can start small, or we can just sort of have the position open for us to kind of learn from it. But at least we have the investment there, and then if it goes up, like we can react from there. If it goes down, then we can it's something that we can learn from. So I think like Shinya said, like this is the time that we can be a little bit more risk seeking, so a little bit more I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on your analysis, but I think just as a general mindset, when you're just trying to pick stocks right now, or like decide on what to look at, yeah, just keep an open mind, just look at what seems like a good opportunity now, and then just do start looking into it. Even if after your research you don't decide that this is right for the portfolio, or it's just not a good time to enter, that's okay, but at least you have like a written record of what you learned or what you kind of went through during that thought process. But yeah, but I really don't think that it's the case that everything we look at is probably not going to be a potential buy. I think definitely do cast a wider net, and then do adjust how much risk you might be willing to take. But yeah, I think do start also thinking about the initiation memo for next year. So especially if we can get stuff out by January, February, yeah, maybe around then. And then especially since I think we mentioned that it's your holidays in December. I think that's a pretty good time to start, especially the kind of market environment that we're in the 3D markets that we're looking at. yeah, so do start looking, and then do start trying to see if there are any companies that you think that you would want to expand on your research. Yeah, and then any questions, do go to any of the senior members or the PMs or anybody else in the club. Yeah, especially for the new members. Yeah, so do take the opportunity to reach out to as many people as you can while they're in the club as well. So yeah, other than that, I don't think anything else. Okay, I don't think there's anything else. Any other specific instructions, I think I will either message you privately or let the PMs know. Okay, are there any questions from anyone? No? Okay, if not, that's all for today. Yeah, have a good week ahead, and yeah, so for anyone who has exams coming up, all the best, good luck. And then I'll see you guys next month. Or I'll see you next week if you come along to the sector review. But yeah, good luck to all the people who have exams. All right, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.